Hello my fellow whale watchers, today we are going to look at this Master League 3 hangar of one of my subscribers. His favorite game mode is Domination, occasionally he also plays Beacon Rush. A bit of additional information, he plans to replace the Blitz with a Capri and he's upgrading a Havoc Scatter Scorpion for event tasks in the background. Other robots in his storage are Erebus, Fafnir, Orochi and Harpy. His goal is to have a balanced hangar with bots from different corporations. Alright, so let's have a look. The Aojun with Avengers, this was once one of the strongest builds in the game before it was nerfed. It is still a very decent build and especially effective against shields. You run it with lockdown ammo, which makes it very effective. I also used to run the same active module. And you also have the young Lee pilot. Overall, it's a good build. The Aojun is still quite common these days, even in Champion League. However, it will be a challenge to use the Avengers there. Except maybe if you run the shot grouping pilot skill that reduces the bullet spread, because together with the 10-second reload time, this makes it quite ineffective against everything that is not at close range and standing still. The Ardent Blitz with 4 toxins, this I would say is the strongest build that you can currently run on the Blitz, together with the Nuclear Amplifier and Clive. Also the Blitz is still used in Champion League quite a lot. Your plan is to replace it with the Capri sooner or later, good plan. The toxins also work very well on the Capri. The Retro Revenant with Spain Toxin and the Vasilisa pilot is also probably the strongest Revenant build that you can currently run. Very tanky, high DPS, and you also run it with a Nuclear Amplifier and Repair module, so nothing wrong with this one. The Giftbringer Fenrir is a standard brawling build with Ember Igniter. Together with a Nuclear Amplifier and Bernadette Wolf, it will become extremely powerful once it's leveled up. And finally the Orochi with 2 Devastators, 2 Overdrive units and the Adrian Chong pilot. Also very decent, high damage output. This is a very common setup as well. You run the Muramets Titan with Vengeance Retaliator, which is the classic build, with a few standard modules. If you like the playstyle, why not? It's a very powerful thing to have. Your weapons are maxed out, so it could be a good idea to work a bit on your modules as well, in case they're not maxed out yet. So in general, this is a very good and balanced hangar, predominantly with brawlers. You like Domination, so for this game mode, that hangar can bring you all the way up to Champion League, if you work on the level of your gear. Also, trying to get a Capri is a very good idea, and it would also introduce a healer to your hangar. So what could you improve? You wrote that almost all your modules are at level 1, so this is definitely something that you should fix. Remember that modules can be swapped between builds and you can fit them on other builds in the future. So try to max out a couple of nuclear amplifiers and a heavy armor kit for your tanks. And if you can get your hands on an anti-control module or a last stand, that would for sure be useful. A few more things to consider. You currently have 6 toxins in your hangar. There is nothing wrong with that, but keep in mind that you make yourself quite dependent on this one weapon type, and that 6 light weapons are quite expensive to upgrade as well. At this point in time, however, I would just wait and keep it in the back of your head, because in one of the next updates, a new type of shotguns will come into the game, and this will probably define a new brawling meta. So maybe keep leveling up a maximum of 3 or 4 of the toxins, but not all 6 of them. When you go higher up in the leagues, it's worth to think about the replacement for the Avengers. What works well on the Yun or any other robot with heavy weapon slots in mid-long range setups are Punches and Incinerators. Also Nucleons, Embers, Avalanches or even Redeemers and Prismas depending on your playstyle. But of course the best build for the Yun at the moment is with a Nuclear Amplifier and Smoothas. So maybe you can get a couple of these somewhere. With regard to upgrading, I would probably start by bringing your Revenant and its weapons to MK112 and also bring up the level of your Fenrir. In Domination, these 2 bots will be the ones that survive longest on the battlefield, and they will also stay relevant in your main hangar for a good while. So this concludes my hangar review of this Master League 3 hangar. In case you would like to have your hangar reviewed as well, you can find instructions on how to apply for a review in this video's description. Thanks again for listening in and see you on my channel.